I've never seen brown eyes look so blue. All this like context and foreshadowing that is just so palpable. The impending doom. But I still believe in Nebraska dreaming, because I'd rather die than be anything than your girl. This is a difficult album to review. I'm kind of torn. You there, feeling happy? Need something to make you feel a little bit more sad? Well, you should go to Lucen's merch shop, featuring a whole range of items, including this t-shirt. Continue to encourage Lucen's delusional activities by getting a band t-shirt from his recent Totally Real World Tour. Head over to his merch page for a range of sad items. Express your own emotional instability with the Crying Club tote bag.
This will come in handy.
Or you can cry into your morning coffee with the Crying Club crying mug. Head over to Lucen's merch shop today. Link is in the description. Being able to connect to your own emotions cannot be confirmed nor denied. Lucen would like to assure you that his world tour is totally real and not made up, and this band t-shirt is here to prove it. So yes, you should definitely believe in everything he says. Goodbye. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen, and I am a singer-songwriter, podcaster, and YouTube person. And today I'm going to be reacting to Ethel Cain's brand new album. It's out today. It is called WILLOUGHBY TUCKER, I Will Always Love You. And yeah, I'm very excited. Let's go! Yes. This is like such a big one. I need to start off with a bit of context. You guys on YouTube convinced me to listen to Preacher's Daughter. It kind of came out and I'd never heard of this person before and never, you didn't know anything about her or anything about the music. And so I reacted to it for the YouTube. I know most of you, 99% of you watching this one will have definitely seen my Preacher's Daughter reaction. And if you haven't seen that, you've probably seen me going to Ptolemy. I still don't know how to say that. Because that one did the rounds on TikTok as well. Oh my God, that album just had me in its tight claws for like an entire year. I remember the Spotify Wrapped that year, like American Teenager was my #1 played song of the entire year. I mean, it was a front to back proper listen. I mean, I would skip Ptolemy every single time. But other than that, it's a front to back listen for me. But yeah, like honestly, like one of my absolute favorite albums of the last 5 years. Just, oh God, it's so beautiful. The storytelling, although not quite what I thought it was on first listen, is so deep and so rich and so well executed and so atmospheric and so powerful and so emotional, and just everything about it I just adored. And so yeah, I've been like feverishly anticipating this album. Obviously she did the Perverts album in January, which was like a kind of lark, which is not really my kind of music, but like I could appreciate it, obviously. You know what I'm like. So for this one to be like, this is the prequel to Preacher's Daughter, this is like part of the canon. I've been like super excited about it. I've heard the pre-release songs, because I now, whenever the new songs coming out, I do them for Patreon, and then I do like, YouTube shorts and TikToks. And so yeah, so I have heard Nettles and Fuck Me Eyes. I mean, Nettles I loved, just absolutely adored. And then Fuck Me Eyes I really liked. The vibe of it didn't catch my attention as much as Nettles did, but the lyrics really did. I really appreciated the storytelling and the lyrics in that one. So, so strong so far, and we're going to see what happens with the rest of the album. But yes, before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like deep dive reactions like mine. I will attempt to do my lyrical analysis once again, but you know what I'm like. At least this time I have a little bit more context. Last time I was like, oh, it's about her finding her identity, and everyone was like, she got eaten. I was like, oh God. But yeah, so this time at least I have a bit more context, so I understand that I am going to be following a storyline and doing my best. But yes, so if you like that kind of thing, then make sure to subscribe. If you want to support me even further, get this video with absolutely no cuts in any of the songs or anything, and get my full unedited analysis, go over to Patreon. There's loads of stuff to get involved in over on Patreon, including exclusive reactions from me and my reactions and analysis of all the brand new music that's coming out. Yeah, loads of exclusive videos, and to get to be part of like a gorgeous little music community as well. So head over to Patreon. There's lots of different like tiers. You can even sign up for the free tier if you just want to keep up to date with what's going on in Lucent World. Make sure to check out my merch. If you fancy having a silly t-shirt or a mug with my crying face on the side of it, then yes, head over to my merch page. Oh, and make sure to leave your top 5 songs from the album in the comments, especially for this one. I'll be very excited to see what everybody's favourites are. I'll let you know what my favourite song is at the end of the video, so make sure to stick to the end for that. Let's go. WILLOUGHBY TUCKER. Yes. Oh God, I'm so excited about this. Yes. Anyway, right, let's go on to it. Let's go on to it. Let's start this video properly. This is further that you can tell I've had a week off, can't you? Song number 1 is Janie. Let's go. Very slow opening credits, cinematic type thing. Gorgeous. Already setting the kind of nostalgic template, you know.
Hold me, smell of mildew. I wanna die. And I still shake just by nature. Shoot me down.
I love that little vocal flourish. Very vulnerable. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, those delicate harmonies. Oh my God. I've already got chills. Oh, just that move into that chord, it's just, oh. Oh, wait. It kind of almost feels like it's slowing down, like there's something about the guitar that's almost like behind the beat. I just love the delicate fragility that's captured in this. Oh, it's stunning.
She was my sister.
Okay. Maybe it's about like her sister finding a partner, the jealousy, you know. Stunning. Oh, really just, it was the delicate fragility that just was so stunning about that song. Like when she first came in with those harmonies and how fragile they were. Oh God, it's not only really beautiful to listen to, but it's just the storytelling and the emotion that is just like captured within that kind of style of singing. From what I've heard of this era so far, like one thing that's like really stuck out to me is the way that Hayden's vocals have like really developed in terms of like her control over them. Like she's going higher in her register, but finding a lot of control, having little flourishes that she allows to come out at moments as well. But like, it seems as if like that control over her vocal is allowing her to like have even more kind of breadth in storytelling, you know, because there's so much story that you can pull out of just the way that it's sung, you know. That's, I think, and that is just so powerful. And like, yeah, just again, like really setting the table, setting the stakes, I don't know what I'm trying to say, for a very nostalgic album, right? Obviously we have a lot of like Americana nostalgia built into Preacher's Daughter, but this one is a prequel, and so therefore it feels like it's maybe even going to be even more heavily drenched in that kind of feeling, you know, heavy reverbs, the shimmering guitars, you know, and this one very much sets that up. And it felt like I actually understood the narrative to start with. And I'm not going to be reading the Genius because I like to actually make my own opinions. Like some people are like, oh, you could just read the Genius and it tells you what everything's about. And I'm like, no. That's not how I listen to music. I'm not here to understand what it's supposed to be about. I'm not trying to find the answer. I'm trying to interpret, you know. I just got a couple of those comments on my Ray of Light reaction and was just like, No, like, the. Hold me, smell of mildew. I want to die in this room. I still shake. Just by nature. Easy to hate, easy to blame. Shoot me down. Come on, hurt me. I'm wide open and deserving. So really kind of we're introduced to this character right away. The vibe here is quite similar to the House of Nebraska kind of thing, where it's like in a dirty, horrible room, like where everything's like moldy. I feel like it's almost like maybe at the beginning of that feeling, it kind of feels like that within the lyrics, you know, it's mildew rather than mold, you know, it's not quite rotting yet. Even though you can sense that might be the way it would go. It's like this hugely vulnerable place where she's like, I'm incredibly depressed and therefore like I am not only completely vulnerable in my emotions and what you say to me will affect me, but I'm deserving. You know, the depression has made her believe that she's deserving of that pain as well, which is a heartbreaking, horrendous way to start, but I wouldn't expect anything less. Please don't leave me. I'll always need more. Please leave open your most quiet door. Oh, interesting. I know she's your girl now, but she was my girl first. She was my girl first. I can see the end in the beginning of everything, and in it you don't want me, but I still play pretend like I don't watch you leaving. I would always love you. It's not looking good, but did it ever? Low stakes, low faith, but I will wait. You'll keep changing, I'll stay the same, and turn the page to find it blank except for my last name. I know you love her, but she was my sister first. Ooh, I love that. Turn the page to find it blank except for like my last name. It's like the changing, like if her sister were to get married to this guy, her last name would change, and it's almost like a physical manifestation of like her sister leaving her, this abandonment. It's like the whole thing about this song is like fear of abandonment, you know. It's like my sister has fallen in love with this guy and he's like sweeping her off her feet and they're going to get married. And she's like, I feel like I've already lost my relationship with my sister, that what we had, she's kind of growing up and moving on from me. And I love the detail about the last name changing because it's like such a visual, like, you know, reminder of like the way that things have changed, the way that she has changed. She's a different person. Even her name is different. We don't even share our last name anymore. You know, she's been taken away from me. Yeah. That's a really powerful image. Beautiful. Right, let's go on to the next one. This is Willoughby's theme. That piano's back. This is the Sun-Bleached Flies piano, isn't it? Or August Underground. I get this one's mixed up because I'm like this when I'm listening to those two. Oh, I love how like this is like referencing that piano section from Preacher's Daughter, but almost sounds slightly lighter, you know? Slightly more innocent. There's something in the chords that has a bit more like hope to it, you know? A bit more naivety, maybe. Oh God, it's giving me chills. Like just the dissonance, like that droning sound. You can tell she's kind of like sound production wise learnt from Perverts, you know, in that way. Oh God, it's just, It's almost kind of, this feels like foreshadowing, doesn't it? It's like that point at the beginning of a movie where you know it's all gonna go wrong, you know? And yet you're still waiting to see how it's gonna play out, you know? Yeah. Ugh. Just stunning. Oh, I just love the slow dynamic build. The way these extra instruments are just like slowly filled in the picture, you know? It's just gorgeous. The oscillating between the two chords, very House of Nebraska referencing. Feels very specifically like this is a prequel, and I'm telling you this is a prequel through these sounds, you know. Gorgeous. Oh my God. Just absolutely just like overflowing with emotion, you know. Like there's so many things you can kind of pull out of it, even though it's completely instrumental, you know. I love when she just like allows the album to breathe, you know, like the moments in Preacher's Daughter where it just goes full instrumental just are some of the most emotional moments for me. Like they're just overwhelming. It's the section, it's like televangelism and August Underground into Sun Bleached Flies, isn't it? Like that whole section of Preacher's Daughter feels like in the wake of the drama and the pain, you're just left there with your emotions, you know, and like this really evokes that same kind of style, you know, except for here we're before, you know, that was like after and this is before. So I love that in terms of the storytelling, this is almost like filling in that kind of gap in the kind of storytelling, you know. If you were to think of, okay, I'm going to listen to this like prequel into, I'm going to have to do that, you know, WILLOUGHBY Tucker into Preacher's Daughter, we've got the prequel into the main event. Obviously foreshadowing is going to be a big part of this album and like the theme of this album. If you think about like this specific song being before the events and all of those instrumental tracks that I mentioned being after the events, there's a mirroring going on, which is just such a gorgeous kind of satisfying storytelling thing. It's like an opera, like we talk about like I've never seen opera, but I've watched videos about opera music, like music theory in opera. But anyway, and that like there's a lot of like motif writing. I mean, a lot of it's within video game music as well, which is like really gets my attention. Like in Zelda, for instance, like leitmotif. And we know that Ethel's a massive, Hayden is a massive fan of Zelda. So I think like the kind of the referencing, having certain melodies coming back, having certain vibes coming back, the context changes, but there are similarities. And so it gives this like heart achingly powerful emotion of like showing you like how far you've gone, how so much things have changed. If it this way, it's kind of in reverse, you know. And in terms of this being WILLOUGHBY's theme, for me, the main emotions of this song are like hope, but potential distance, right? The sound of the chords have this kind of hopeful feeling. And I feel like that maybe that's to represent the kind of young love. Because like, obviously, like we've come from a place of her being completely abandoned, but then maybe now she's finding somebody who represents hope and taking her out of that place of depression. And that's so much what the chords feel like for me. But then like the use of distortion and the use of the drone and the use of some dissonant moments in the harmony really then fill in the full picture, which is like, you might feel like you're hopeful now, but this is not going to end the way you think it's going to end, you know? And it's such a powerful storytelling trope. And then that combined with the fact that we know that Preacher's Daughter is the sequel, and we know that these sounds reappear in that stint of songs, televangelism, etc., it makes it even more powerful because it gives you that arc. This is the hope before it all goes wrong. And I feel like that already you can tell in the way that Hayden's thinking about this album that like if you were to listen to this album and then listen to Preacher's Daughter, it's going to be such a full cinematic experience, you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't usually have 2.5 hours of my day to just do that, but I will find the time. Right, okay, let's go on to the next one. I somehow managed to talk for ages about a song that's like, hasn't got any lyrics. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Fuck Me Eyes, which obviously I have heard, but it'd be really interesting to kind of like, now we've kind of got a bit of chronology in terms of like how the storyline's developing. Obviously we started with her sister abandoning her, then we had WILLOUGHBY's theme, so potentially the beginnings of her like interest and falling in love with this person, and now we have Fuck Me Eyes. Let's have a little look. I just love that synth sound.
In her mom's jeans that she cut to really show off her ass. She's gonna get what she wants. Her nails are long. All the boys wanna love her when she bets her fuck me eyes.
Yeah.
She looks just like her mama. Before the drugs, she just
I just love the kind of world building of this song as well.
but she's
Good at raising hell.
trying to feel good right now. They wanna take her, no one ever wants to take her home.
I just love that idea that like they want to take her out, but they never want to take her home. Everyone's only interested in her on a surface level. It's tragic, but such a beautiful kind of insight into like a character, you know, us. This song's definitely grown on me since my first listen. I think maybe it was because I was hoping for something more upbeat, I suppose.
They never see her wiping her fuck me eyes.
Oh, that's just so powerful. I love that. They never see her wiping her fucking eyes. Like this girl who on the surface seems like she doesn't care. She does, you know.
No one ever wants to take her home.
Gorgeous. Inserting herself into that story, like maybe I can't ever make Willoughby fall in love with me, you know, because I'll never be that confident. Oh, I love this section, it's so stunning. Oh, that lyric as well really got me. She's scared of nothing but the passenger side, not having control, you know. Oh. Stunning. Oh, just glorious. I love how like I went into it being like, oh yeah, that one's not my favorite one, but now I'm like, yeah, it's great. I think it's because like the dynamics of Nettles, for instance, like just completely blew me away and I just absolutely adored. And so maybe like the fact that Fuck Me Eyes is kind of sonically in a similar place, maybe that was why my initial reaction to it wasn't quite as like, you know, wow. And actually now listening to it now that I understand more of the context of the lyrics, it really hits me harder because like I just feel so sorry for this girl, you know, this obviously quite a vulnerable character that she's talking about, and it's someone that we all kind of know, that we've all seen, we've all kind of like dealt with in some way. This girl who's kind of learned a way to get control over people by utilizing her sex power, you know, sex power. You know, and therefore has kind of learned to do that, to try and get this like surface level like attention and like attraction from people. But then she quickly finds out that what she truly wants is like committed, real love, you know, someone to take her home rather than just to take her out, you know, something deeper. And she's not getting that, you know, she's walking away wiping her fuck me eyes. It's just, I don't know, there's just something so powerful about the turning on that lyric, you know, because the fuck me eyes are like, you know, the blinking of the long eyelashes, the charming thing that she's used to kind of get power, you know, in a way, but then to turn it on that specific lyric, it's just so powerful. It's another thing of like the context changing, certain elements of the lyric, certain elements of the sounds saying the same, but then the context changing to give you that super powerful kind of emotional rush of like, oh my God, you know, and this is something that Hayden is like really great at. And it seems like, I feel like she's learnt from Zelda like completely in the sound design, because that is something that like just kills me about Zelda soundtracks. It's the okay, I'm going in depth from the nerd now, but like, you know, we've had Zelda for it's almost 40 years now, and the melodies, not only are they strong, really well written melodies, but they operate like motifs. You know, you have certain melodies that have made their way through every single Zelda game over all these years, and all of us fans have been playing these games for all these years. And then you get to like Tears of the Kingdom, the latest Zelda game. The score for that game is fucking insane, and the actual music in it is phenomenal. But then when you get to the final bit, spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but I'm going to spoil the music. When you get to the final bit where you spoilers, have to save the princess. Catch her. The theme for Tears of the Kingdom plays, but then Zelda's fucking lullaby starts playing and I start crying, and then it transitions into the like Zelda main theme. And the thing being, right, is that you have this connection to this music. You have a context for which you understand this music, you know. Zelda's lullaby is like 3 notes that always are linked to Zelda as a character. And so it's like 30 years of story building. All that time, we've been building this relationship with this music. And so when it's thrown in unexpectedly into something that's like huge and grand, it gives you such a powerful emotional rush. And I think that Hayden understands that element of composition, you know, like to a T, because you can hear it. She's laying the groundwork for Preacher's Daughter in this prequel thing, but then you can see it in something like with this song, with that specific lyric, the Fuck Me Eyes lyric, where it's like, we're taking something, we're changing the context and we're twisting it, and it gives you that real kind of that emotional arc, and it's really powerful. And yeah, I think that Hayden understands that element of songwriting very well, and I love it. It gets me every time. Yeah, I mean, I did a really deep lyrical analysis of Fuck Me Eyes on the Patreon. So if you want the kind of like full in-depth lyrical analysis, you can do it there. Yeah, I'll do a quick little summary, but if you want the full-on thing, then it's on Patreon. The whole point of this song is getting to know this character, right? So there's this character who's going around town in her old Cadillac. She's batting her Fuck Me Eyes, and she's finding these guys to like come and love her because she has like absent parents. Talks about, what was it, like her daddy's keeps her in a box. And so she's clearly not had love from her parents. And so it seems as if she's going around town trying to find that love in these like one night stands, right? And ultimately she feels unfulfilled. She feels like she's being used. But she's also kind of using these guys as well, you know? Yeah, and there's so many lyrics in here that kind of link to that feeling of like her having like this like childhood where she had no control over herself. She was controlled by her father. She had no love from her parents. And so she's trying to control the situation using her sexuality, you know, but ultimately she's not getting the fulfillment that she needs. And there was the line about her not liking to be in the passenger seat, I thought was really interesting, because again, it's like letting a man drive, have control over her. You know, her whole life, she's never had control. And so she needs it. And so she can't sit in the passenger side. She has to be driving the car. I thought that was very, very interesting detail. And then at the end, Hayden inserts, or Ethel, or whatever, the character, inserts herself into the story and kind of, it's like, I can't blame her for doing what she's doing, but I'll never be that person. And so you kind of then get a reflection on how she feels about her burgeoning romance with Willoughby Tucker at this point, where she's like, if I'm not that kind of girl, will I ever get the kind of love that I want? You know, how could anybody love me when they've got people like that? But then she does also understand that at the end of the day, the Fuck Me Eyes girl isn't happy either. So actually kind of almost has this kind of like female camaraderie feeling in it as well, by really taking the time to understand this character who people might judge, you know. Yeah, I just like the depth, the storytelling, and everything about that song is just fucking phenomenal. Yeah, if you want to check out my first analysis to it, go on over to the Patreon. I mean, you can watch this whole video uncut as well, so, and early. You're watching it now a week later. You could have watched it last week on Patreon. She's no good at raising children, but she's good at raising hell. Right, okay, let's go on to Nettles, which again, I've heard, and if you want to see my initial reaction analysis, in depth, it's on Patreon. I did shorts as well, but the shorts, like, they only let you do 60 seconds. So it's like, you know, this song is just so stunning. I'm excited to just listen to it, like, in context, you know. Cool, let's go. Also, I'm very proud of myself for noticing the Twin Peaks reference that immediately. That chord there, it's just that. I don't know, there's something about the chords that she uses. They're really simple, but just get you, you know? Oh, it's just so good.
We were in a race to grow up. We threw the day till tomorrow. But when the plan blew up, time passes slow in the flicker
See, that's the bit where I'm like, Hayden's voice is just like, she's really leveled up.
It was ugly like what they all did to me. What I wouldn't do to anyone. Tell me all the time.
I just adore the kind of three-dimensional storytelling in this song. Like, oh, stunning.
When I won't wake up on my own. Wake up on my own. Knowing I'm half of you. Lay me down where the trees bend low.
God, the introduction of that drum kit as well is just so unexpected, but like the way it's kind of swung, and it just feels so nostalgic.
To love me is to suffer me.
To love me is to suffer me. Oh.
I want you for me. It's not that hard. I've never seen brown eyes look so blue all the time.
Oh, I've never seen brown eyes look so blue. It just kills me. It's just like, I love it. So good, isn't it? It's just the lyric. Yeah.
How close all the time, I'm half of you.
Yeah.
Think of us inside. How close all the time. This was
It's just something about the lyric, like, it was all for you. It's just so unguarded. And the way that she sings it on that, like, that note that just kind of lifts itself out of the song, the power behind the way she sings it, it's just powerful. I say powerful. Perfect. Oh, it's gorgeous. Like, ugh, stunning. Just like, it really is, just the like, the slow build of it, the way that it just crests into that moment, it just is so perfectly done. It feels like a real kind of, like a slow kind of, we're adding in instruments as we go. Then we have a little mix up in the middle with the drums, but then we build up to this point and we get to this moment where she's spent in like 6 minutes prepping us for this one moment, and then she sings "It Was All For You." It pulls itself out of the song, it cuts through the song, cuts through the reverb, comes out so powerfully. It's so vulnerable and so earnest, and it just is like a gorgeous beacon of light that just like crests out of the song. It's so stunning, and it's all about like the way that it's built up to that point, but then also just like the way it's so totally unguarded, you know. It just is amazing and so powerful. I love it. I still don't really know why it's called Nettles, but you know. We were in a race to grow up yesterday through today till tomorrow, but when the plant blew up, a piece of shrapnel flew, and that slowed a part of you. Doctors gave you until the end of the night, but not till daylight, not till daylight. So obviously I did my first lyric analysis over on Patreon, but I feel like there's more to dig into now that I know the context of this one. But like, yeah, obviously the context of like the plant blowing up, Willoughby presumably getting injured, and like maybe her realization of her love for him because of this like moment of like, I could lose you, you know. This reminds me so much of my mum and my dad, because like my dad told me once that like him and my mum were in a motorcycle accident, and my mum was more injured than he was because she was on the back, so she kind of flew. But like as she was going into the hospital, like my dad told me that was the moment that he realised that he was in love with her. Kills me, makes me want to cry. It's so gorgeous. But just like seeing her in that kind of vulnerable state, realising what he could be losing, really just was the moment, you know. So funny, when he told me that when I was younger, I was like, oh, that's nice. But now I'm like older and I'm also, you know, all loved up. It really so moves me. Yes, anyway, my point being that like there's something about like moments like that in your life that kind of throw everything into sharp relief. You know, suddenly it's like, oh shit, this is what I could be losing here. And then it makes you understand, you know, and that's kind of what I think the story of this song is, you know. Made a fool of myself down on Tennessee Street. It wasn't pretty like the movies. It was ugly like what they all did to me. So obviously she's like emotionally distraught and like there's a public display of this emotion and she's not treated well for that. Tell me all the time not to worry, and then I think of all the time I'll have with you. I won't wake up on my own. Oh, it's just, I won't, like, now I have you. I'm not going to wake up on my own anymore. It's like, heartbreaking. Hold close all the time, knowing I'm half of you. There's so much like about beds, like waking up on your own. I think of the house in Nebraska, the power in that visual, you know, like it's not only within the love and the relationship, but also like squalor. You know, there's an idea of like a dirty mattress on the floor is so powerful. Yeah, she touches upon that quite a lot. And I think it's quite a powerful image to evoke in the listener. You know, I can hear them singing, to love me is to suffer me. And I believe that when I lay with you in that old lang room, wishing I was the way you say that you are. Old lang room, obviously old lang syne, something about a new year, new beginnings, not sure. Maybe that's literally about like the time at which this happened. You'll go fight a war, I'll go missing. I've warned you. For me, it's not that hard. Maybe that's like foreshadowing of American Teenager, you know, the neighbor's body came home in a box line. Maybe it's almost like she has like a vision in that moment of what is going to happen, because yeah, it's like you're going to go off to fight a war and I'm going to go missing, which is what does happen, you know. So that feels like quite a intentional piece of like foreshadowing, you know, whereas like the character at this point doesn't know that's going to happen, but like maybe it's like some sort of like subtle premonition, you know. The picture on the wall you're scared of just looks just like you. See, it's almost like scared of your past, scared of yourself, scared of your future. Maybe I want to bleed, I want to hurt the way that boys do. Maybe you're right and we should stop watching the news, because baby, I've never seen brown eyes look so blue. The hope in this song is what kills me, because it's like thinking of all the time I'm going to have with you, thinking of all this special time, you know, we're going to love each other, but we know that it's not going to end up like that. And it's the power of that foreshadowing. It's like what makes it so emotional. Think of us inside, gardenias on the tile, where it makes no difference who held back from who. To love me is to suffer me. So she's like envisioning this like house that they have together. The one in Nebraska. Yeah, shit. You know, yeah, all the visuals are there, all the foreshadowing is there, the imagery is so powerful, and I just adore how it's like such an unguarded declaration of love for somebody, and that is not something that really is, that's a rarity, you know, and it really spells out this character's innocence at this point that is going to be completely dashed, you know. Oh, God. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Willoughby's interlude. It's almost like, feels like we have like sections, you know, where she was moving on to how she's going through the love, discovering the love. And now it's like, okay, we're going to move on to the next. What happens next, you know? Okay, let's go. So we've got 7 minutes. She's definitely taking what she's letting purpose. Oh, the warmth in that synth organ, whatever it is. It's just stunning. Just taking it all in. The dynamics are so slow. There's so much detail and depth in the sound design. You just want to let it just like wash over you, you know? I just love how like this song seems to be evolving so slowly, that like if you were to compare this bit to the beginning bit, it would sound very different, and yet you kind of almost don't even realise that it's evolved, you know? There's something about the way that the synths and how everything's distant, how everything's covered in reverb, how everything's kind of introduced and faded out very slowly, you know, gives it this like incredibly powerful sense of atmosphere. But like, yeah, this like slow kind of like wave. It's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous from a sound design standpoint, you know. And again, like the oscillating between two main chords is so linking to House of Nebraska for me. Like that, it really feels like foreshadowing of that particular moment, you know. Ooh, okay, hello. That almost sounds like an old television kind of commercial or something, you know. Adds like it's almost like sunrise kind of effect into it, doesn't it? A bit of sadness, melancholy. It still feels hopeful. There's definitely a sense of like youthful innocence that really kind of spells out a lot of the feeling of this project, you know, the naivety. And that's so palpable in the way that just things sound, you know, this naivety, this like hope. Okay, on the next one. Yeah, I think like, yeah, it just really does feel like the focus of this album is like, in terms of the sonic storytelling, is trying to hammer home this sense of fragile naivety and innocence. It makes everything in Preacher's Daughter even more powerful, you know? It makes it even more three-dimensional. It makes it more cinematic, you know? And I can't wait to kind of like rediscover Preacher's Daughter in tandem with this album. It's almost like we're getting so much kind of groundwork for like the innocence that is then lost, you know? Which is like such a powerful storytelling device. Yeah, it's really, really, yeah. I think like, in terms of like balance so far, I must say that like, I think Preacher's Daughter has a better balance of different styles of song, you know? Whereas this one, like the tempos have all been fairly slow. It's all been similar sounds and drenched in reverb, you know? Whereas I felt like at this point in Preacher's Daughter, we'd had already kind of gone to a few different kind of unique places. So that would be kind of my criticism, I guess, so far. But like, in terms of the storytelling, like the depth and the power in the storytelling for me so far is so great, and actually in some ways better than Preacher's Daughter. Let's go on to the next one. This is Dust Bowl.
Pretty boy, natural blood, stained blonde. Wow. Driving, slasher flick again. 8th grade death pack, strike me dead. But all you could see was me.
I like that. Oof. Love that bell. It's like a glistening thing. It's gorgeous. It really cuts through, you know?
Cooking up and smoking that shit your daddy smoked in Vietnam.
Oh. Yeah.
If you could, you'd leave it. Home crying.
I haven't quite pieced together. I haven't quite pieced together like exactly what I think this one's about yet. Consumed by death.
And his eyes all over me.
Oof. such a delicate sense of balance in the way that this song sounds, you know. It's like things are just like hanging over the top. And if you were to turn up the dial on anything, it would just throw out our balance, you know. It's like, yeah, there's such a gorgeous sense of subtlety and a light touch to her production that's just like, ugh. Yeah. Like, I think the main thing I felt from that song is that it's almost like this is a young boy marked for death. There's this sense of premonition, you know. It's like Willoughby Tucker knows that he's gonna die, you know. He's like all consumed with it. It's like he's like constantly scared of certain things. He's obviously had maybe like a close thing with death earlier with the explosion or whatever it was. But then it's the naturally blood-stained blonde. It's so fascinating as a lyric because it's like, obviously we talk about someone being naturally blonde, you know, it's like a thing. Naturally blood-stained blonde, it's within his DNA. He is marked for death, physically marked by the blood splatter, but it's in his hair color, you know, it's in his DNA. He is marked for death. And it's like such a powerful image, you know. And so like, yeah, that seems to be like the main kind of thing for me is that like there's something about Willoughby in him. He knows that he's going to die, you know. I mean, I don't know fully the whole story of Preacher's Daughter. I obviously read all your comments, but was a bit lost, if I'm honest. So you have to fill me in, like, again, with the chronology and the details of the storyline. I mean, you guys are great at that, so I know you're going to do it. But yeah, I look forward to reading your comments about specifically what happens to Willoughby, because I'm like, is he the neighbour who came home in a box? Or is he someone that she just drifted apart from? I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's a powerful observation on somebody who like is, yeah, like all consumed with mortality, which is, I mean, in itself very powerful because we as humans find it very difficult to pull ourselves away from considering our own mortality. I mean, it's like what drives us, you know? Pretty boy, natural blood-stained blonde with holes in his sneakers, his eyes all over me. Drive in, slash a flick again. Feeling me up as a porn star dies. He's watching me instead. 8th grade death pact, strike me dead. Yeah, so it's almost like they both know that there's this kind of premonition that they're going to die. The foreshadowing is so great in this album. It's almost like the characters don't know it yet, but they do on some level. It's so cool. Yeah, like the fact that they're obsessed with watching slasher films, that like they're having sex whilst the slasher film is going on. Somebody's dying in front of them on the screen and yet they're having sex. It's almost like this act of like life, procreation, whatever, is like marked by death, you know? Like it's so visual. It's so like cinematic. You could imagine this being like a scene in a movie and this all being told with visuals, you know, two people having sex in front of a slasher film, you know, and yet like she does it through lyrics. It's so good. Oh, all of Alabama laid out in front of your eyes, but all you could see was me. Clearly he loves her, is obsessed with her, but there's almost like maybe like this, because he has this belief that neither of them are going to live very long, in the back of his head that he's making the most of it, you know. It kind of gives me that. You walked in, you were singing. You tried to wade in because you wanted just to tell me who you were. You were kind, dying to tell me. You'll wait if I have to make sure. Oh, that's nice. That seems to be like them having sex, like him being like gentle with her and kind to her. Pretty boy, scared of the rain, by God, tend to the row of your violets with your eyes all over me, watching, hoping the wind blows slowly so I can keep you a moment. The flowers seem to be like a returning image, like his interest in flowers. I love that kind of paints him as an individual, like a soft, innocent individual who is like a soft boy, you know, like he's not like a showboaty person. He's like very internal, very delicate, you know. I wonder why he's scared of the rain though. I'm not sure what that means. Grew up hard, fell off harder, cooking our brains, smoking that shit your daddy smoked in Vietnam. Again, the interesting reference towards war. It also positions us in the 80s quite specifically, doesn't it? Because it's like post-Vietnam, your dad was of age going to the Vietnam War, which was in the 70s. And now we're in the 80s and we're teenagers. You know, it's kind of, that's probably the most overt reference to a specific time and place, you know. You'd be a writer if you didn't leave all this hell for you. Saying if you could, you'd leave it all. I knew it was love when I rode home crying, thinking of you fucking other girls. But when you said that you're in love, I never wondered if you're sure. Oh, she knew it. She knew it. She never doubted the fact that he loved her. But again, like fucked up parents. Like it seems to be a real kind of key theme in the background is this idea of like parents passing their trauma, generational trauma, passing it on to their kids. But I love the innocence in their love, and I love how passionate and how there's no doubt in it. And yet again, it's more spelling this like loss of innocence. And this is like the innocence that it will then be lost, you know. Pretty boy consumed by death with the holes in his sneakers, his eyes all over me. Yeah. So it really is like, I mean, this song is like spelling out like they're in their relationship now. This isn't the blossoming of their relationship. This is like, we are in it. We both are on the same level. We love each other. We're having sex. We're discovering these things within one another and loving each other. But there's all this like context and foreshadowing that is just so palpable, and it's like the impending doom is there, and it just creates this incredibly powerful sense of contrast, because like in the foreground you have this like nostalgic, beautiful sense of romanticism, but like looming in the background you have death, and it's coming for them, you know. It's so good. Okay, where were we? Let's come to the next one. Cool. This is A Knock at the Door. Gorgeous. Acoustic guitars with like little reverb and stuff is actually kind of quite surprising at this point, isn't it?
Sitting in the stadium, you with both your fists, scared of knock at the door. So I'm still scared of knock at the door.
This sounds almost like live performed, doesn't it? Maybe it is.
No one should ever see their friend. No, I love it all the same.
Beautiful. I love those little harmonies.
I know you by your footsteps on the floor.
Wow. Again, like more like fragility in her voice with these layered harmonies and stuff. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Like, and they're scared of the knock on the door, like someone's coming to get them, take them away, as if they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, you know? I love the way this song has remained like an acoustic guitar. Oh, hello. But with like these subtle, distinct kind of atmospheric elements. It's just really, yeah, it's gorgeous. Kind of has like almost like time bending thing. Wow. And now it's just like completely lost in time, isn't it? It's like the backing stuff has just kind of swallowed up the acoustic guitar. You can still hear the frets occasionally, but like, yeah, it's like it's been swallowed. That's really, really cool. Beautiful. Wow. The key thing about this album really is the atmosphere, you know, and like there's so many moments where I just feel so completely like I just lay back and it just washes over me. Like I just feel completely transported, you know. That one almost felt like we were like in a tunnel, you know, and then like it kind of overwhelms you with that sound. Like the acoustic guitar just gets completely overwhelmed by, it's almost like someone getting overwhelmed by the memories, you know. Really gorgeous. And yeah, like like the knock at the door, like there's this sense of foreboding, a sense of fear, like again, like the future is coming, you know. Yeah, it's quite palpable, this sense of like impending doom that just is like haunting every single song, you know. It's all for you. Satan's in the state pen. You're here with both your fists. So Satan, afterlife, you know, you're not scared of no knock. Oh, and you're not scared of no knock at the door. Everything I've loved it straight to death. So I'm still scared of that knock at the door. Maybe death itself is the knock at the door. No one should ever see their friend they've known since they were kids foam up and bite it on the floor. You never need to call my name, though I love it all the same. I know you by your knock at the door. I know you by your footsteps on the floor. You're not scared of no knock at the door, or maybe you are. Yeah, I wonder whether like this is actually about Willoughby, this one, or maybe this one is about the friend. Maybe it's about like foam up and bite it on the floor, that there's a sense of maybe they've been like beaten up. I kind of was almost like maybe they got rabid. That's kind of what that took me to. There's a sense that this person's maybe faced danger in the past and therefore doesn't have like as much of a fear of like death, fear of what's to come. And then she kind of realizes maybe at the end that maybe they're just hiding it. You know, maybe it's just bravado, which kind of links into the, you know, the girl from Fuck Me Eyes. You know, maybe it's the same person. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of like has those same kind of things where people put on a facade, whereas like the character at the center of this doesn't seem to be able to have any sort of facade. They're just kind of like an open book, an open wound, you know. Yeah, so that seems to be quite an interesting kind of thing, that this character is almost like learning about the ways in which people put facades and don't tell the truth about how they're feeling. If you're a young, innocent person, you might believe naively what everybody's telling you. But as you grow older, you start realizing that people aren't always telling you exactly the truth, whether that's like in a way to lie to you specifically, or a way to lie to themselves, or a way to like mask what the truth is. Either way, like people aren't always truthful. And I think that's very pertinent to think of that when we go into what I think what the events of Preacher's Daughter are from your comments and stuff, which is, you know, kidnapping, right? It's like maybe this character doesn't kind of actually learn quickly enough not to trust naively everything everyone's saying to her, and that's what gets her in trouble. So maybe that's what the kind of laying of the ground is with this one, is this idea that people aren't always as they seem, you know? I love this idea of like Ethel knowing this person so well. I know you by your knock at the door, I know you by your footsteps on the floor, like you know this person so intimately that you can hear the way that they walk and the way that they sound, you know? And she knows them that intimately, and yet she doesn't necessarily know if they're bluffing, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Cool. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is Radio Towers. What's that beeping? Like it could be like a heart monitor or something. Or a radio tower. There's something so like world building about the picture of a radio tower, like kind of in the mountains, kind of gives that kind of more of that Twin Peaks kind of visual, you know? It's so amazing like how she manages to conjure such a powerful cinematic visual, you know, just within the sounds. It's like she understands the references so well of like popular culture that she knows that like when people listen to this sound, they will be taken to this place, and utilizes that knowledge in order to guide the listener through this like 80s small town in the countryside, bit of a backwards town narrative, you know. It really just takes you to that place so strongly. Like even if you haven't like actually watched Twin Peaks, I think the kind of cultural understanding of like the vibe is enough to kind of really still take you where she wants you to go, you know? Obviously like Twin Peaks is the most obvious reference that she's made in this album, but like the rest of it's more of like a general cultural understanding. Again, another song with no lyrics. I'm surprised how ambient this album is, actually. Has that shifted in key slowly? It's kind of like almost like gone out of tune, like, oh yeah, and then it's moved into the next song. That's powerful. I like that. Yeah, I love the chords there, really powerfully. I really love how musically that moved into The Tempest. I do think, like, at this point, I think I was hoping for more like variety, I suppose. I think that would probably be my main thing so far, is that like the amount of ambient stuff is kind of like almost like 50-50 with the non-ambient stuff, with the actual like words and lyrics and songs. And it almost feels like it's like, I really appreciate what she's doing. And I think she's incredibly good at like painting this kind of world, you know, like I was saying. It almost just feels like maybe it could have been more economical to almost like maybe respect the listener and their time a little bit, you know. I wouldn't want her to rush it, because so much of it is the world building, and you don't want to rush that kind of stuff. But I just feel like the balance is off, you know, because like so much of the world building is in Preacher's Daughter, and yet we get so much more variety and so much more kind of travel within the kind of world of the sounds of the songs, and a lot more of those songs can be played as individual songs, you know. Yeah, and it's a similar length. So yeah, I think at the moment it's just kind of feeling a little bit heavy, and it almost needs some brighter, well, not brighter, but the other song, like, you know, like House Nebraska was like very slow, very deliberate, very powerful, pretty much just piano, compared to like American Teenager, which had this more like bright kind of 80s pop energy, and compared to like, you know, the darkness and the scary shit in Ptolemy, into elements of the ambient and into elements of, you know, but it kind of, because it went to all these different places, it didn't feel like it was quite as heavy, you know. Whereas this album so far for me just feels like I'm like, I want like another song that kind of has like a more structure, you know. But yeah, I think that's where I'm at in terms of comparing the two albums at the moment. But all the other stuff that I said, like, you know, the world building, the lyricism, the character development, the foreshadowing and the storytelling is still fucking amazing. It just feels like, as an album so far, it just feels like the balance is a little bit off. Because like the image of the radio towers and stuff is really palpable, but I just wonder whether like that could have been like half the length. It could have been actually put in that as an interlude rather than like a full like 5-minute thing, you know. Let's go on to the next one. This is Tempest, which is 10 minutes exactly. All great chords. Wow. God, the way that this is building up is just epic. Oh, yeah. Wow. The idea of this song being like the storm, sonically, characteristically. You could have described the rest of the album as quite humid, quite heavy, quite dense. So the idea of the storm breaking that humidity is quite a powerful idea. Yeah. Wow. love the way every time the kick drums in, it kind of makes everything kind of go like this. Do you know what I mean? Like the shape of this dynamic is really cool. With that sawtooth kind of just seems to be like hanging. It's just like foreboding, isn't it? Like. Oh wow. Oh God, that completely caught me off guard. That was so cool. Oh wow, okay. That's giving me chills all over. That's so cool. That just like completely caught me off guard. Just like how incredible that like slow, lurching kind of sound. It's like sludgy. You're like completely lost in the depth of it, you know, completely lost in this world. And then just to cut it off like that and just completely, like, it is really, really cool. Like very, very amazing. Like the sound design in that kind of way, the way she teases you in that way is so cool. I was kind of thinking it would be this tempest. I kind of thought it would like break the humidity, but instead it seems to have broken the optimism, doesn't it? You know, like that one really felt dark, and probably the first true moment of darkness like that we've had. Everything else has been darkness, but like with this like hopeful exterior. But this one is like clearly something's happened. Can you hear them? The trains. Pick your flowers. You're too late. Oh, the flowers, the flowers. I'll hurt myself if I want. I don't care. Do you swing from your neck with the hope someone cares? Wow. If you're just waiting for somebody else to save you, you're going to end up hanging yourself. You know, fuck off. Please just go easy on me. I'm young and naive. I don't know what I need. I can lead you to bed, but I can't make you sleep. See more about the bed. I've heard it before from someone who leaves. Right. I still dream of violence, angry at the waiting game, chain link on your lungs and sulfuric acid in my brain. Don't ask me why I hate myself as I'm circling the drain. 'Cause death, it takes too long and I can't wait. Wow. That is a powerful, powerful fucking lyric. Waiting on my own, always on my own. Someone take me home. I want to go home. Take me out of the dark. I'm going to regret this. You came around here just to watch me writhe. Am I what you think about all late at night? You can try and stop me, hold me. Do all the things that you do, but it's no good. Forever, forever, forever. Yeah, wow. So my theory is that like Willoughby's hung himself and like she's now in the most vulnerable position that she's ever been in because that hope that she had has been completely devastated. She's now in the most vulnerable place where it seems like someone is coming in and trying to take her away. It feels like that person is like almost like trying to kidnap her now. You know, it's like, I can lead you to bed, but I can't make you sleep. I've heard it before from somebody who leaves. So it's like echoes of what Willoughby promised her, you know, almost like trying to give her the hope again, you know. But yeah, again, more it's this like foreshadowing. It's like someone's going to come and take advantage of me in this darkest space. But yeah, the tempest itself seems to be the storm that breaks this haze of romance, this haze of like young innocence. It's the innocence that has been broken now. Yeah, it's so powerful in its storytelling. Yeah, it's amazing. Right, before we go into the last song, if you've made it this far and you're enjoying what you're doing, then you might want to go over to Patreon. This section is a shout out to all my patrons. They are known as the Crying Club, and it's a lovely community of people over there, and they support me every single month to help me do what I do. They basically give me the opportunity to be able to put this much time and passion into talking about music online. So yeah, I can't thank them enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, you can. The link is in my description. Not only do you get my videos, my existing YouTube videos completely uncut, so no cuts in any of the songs or in my analysis, you also get access to a bunch of exclusive stuff. So my thoughts on all the new music that's come out, my reactions and like lyric analysis and stuff to all the new music on the first tier. And then you get, all the album reactions and stuff on the second tier, including exclusive album reactions, ones which are voted for by everybody on Patreon, and also the ones that are chosen by the upper tiers. So in the upper tiers, you can request specific songs or albums from me, depending on what tiers you're in. And those songs also go onto the Patreon. So there's like loads of bonus content going out every single week. There's probably like 2 videos every single week, more or less. But so there's like loads of extra stuff, but there's also the opportunity to chat to all these like-minded people. And even if you can't afford to actually join one of the paid tiers, the free tier is still a really good way to keep up with everything I'm doing. You know, with social media as it is, it can be very difficult to actually connect with you guys, because like I put a YouTube short or a TikTok out and it might not even be shown to you. I put a post on the YouTube community and it might not even be shown to you. I put a post or a story on Instagram and it might not even be shown to you. But if you go to Patreon and go to the free tier on Patreon, you will see every single thing I post. When it comes to updates and actually following what I'm up to, that's the best place to be. So consider heading over there for the free tier on the not free tiers. Thank you to everybody who's supporting me as they are. Right, okay, let's go on to the final song. This is Waco, Texas. Waco? Whoa, Waco. Don't know what that is, but we've got a 15-minute and 15-second situation going on, so let's go.
Blue and a second off beat, like he's running out of daylight. Yeah, my baby acts cool, but they all know something ain't right.
Again, more with like projecting something to people, and
pictures hanging where the world can see them. I hope that the morning comes. How much of a cool year can you call my phone? Even the memory.
Love her voice in this place. Yeah.
We'll never come back from. Wear these scars for life. I left you when it hurt inside too.
Scars of like what happened to me will stay with me forever. Maybe he didn't die then. Maybe he did. I don't know. She's very unreliable as a narrator. Either way, that abandonment was fulfilled, wasn't it? That fear.
Did I hold you facing away from me?
Oh.
You're in your room till you hate me.
Wow.
Maybe then I'll get some sleep. I've been picking names for our children. Love is not enough in this world, but I still believe it. Nebraska dreaming.
Oh, beautiful.
'Cause I'd rather die than be anything but your girl. I'd reach into your body and fix you
Gorgeous.
if I could.
I love the way there's like backing vocal reverb trails just kind of, I don't know, they just bring this like undulating sense of like glory to it. You know, it's just stunning.
As you walked away from me, so I played on my time
Yeah.
to be in the room. Now I
Ugh.
didn't try.
Really feels like a sense of like letting go, doesn't it? Oh, that piano. It still sounds beautiful, doesn't it? It literally sounds like exactly the same piano that House in Nebraska was recorded on, you know? Gorgeous. I wonder how it flows. Shall I put on... Wait a second. Okay, it doesn't it doesn't like sonically flow in. I was kind of wondering whether it would have like some sort of like connection. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, like just really beautiful, genuinely beautiful stuff. I really appreciate how it did end on something more kind of beautiful. It kind of has a bit of a loved and lost kind of feeling to it at the end, rather than like all out depression. Yeah, which is beautiful because it kind of ties it up as like this package that is genuinely about love itself, and really the beauty that although this love might not have ended in the way that she wanted it to, and might have had all this darkness hanging around it, it still is beautiful for what it was. That's kind of what that last kind of song brings to me. Yeah. And then I think the piano there is supposed to be the thing that connects it into Preacher's Daughter. And it connects it specifically to House in Nebraska more than anything else about Preacher's Daughter, you know, for me. And I think that's quite a powerful connection. Again, like it just went through so many kind of beautiful kind of undulating moments. But again, it's like a song that you kind of just wash over you and you get lost within it, you know. My honey's heart is blue and a second off beat, always tugging at me like he's running out of daylight. He might still be dead. I'm just saying, because like for his heart to be physically blue, it could be like dead body kind of cold blue. Always tugging me like he's running out of daylight, running out of time, you know. Yeah, my baby acts cool, but they all know something ain't right. Acting this cool when he's walking with me 1998 forever and a day. I keep the pictures hanging where the world can see them. I hope I die today. Save me from another late night of red eyes. But then the morning comes. You were there looking for me, but I was gone. Turned my back for a moment and you had fallen apart. So there's a real sense of like, we don't know what time this is happening. You know, like she mentions 1998 and it's like the timelessness of being lost within a hazy memory where you don't know whether you're there or now. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a real sense of timelessness here where it's like she's talking about them in the present tense, but then they could have been gone and left them for a long, long time. You know, the pictures are hanging on the wall where everyone can see them, you know, another night of red eyes. Do you know what I mean? There's so many aspects in this where it's like, okay, what time are we actually in? They've been promising the lights as we beg for our lives, sending pages of the times we've been waiting on. Now the wait's too much and I can't hold you anymore. How much of a cruel year can you call my fault? Okay, not even the memories are immortal. Terrified on this side of a conversation we'll never come back from. I'll never live it down if I never get around it because, God damn it, I did it to myself in hindsight. I liked him because his rule was do whatever you like, and I tried, all right. Now I wear these scars for life. I loved you when it hurt inside too, but in the low light, you know I'd do anything for you. That's really gorgeous. The lyrics are fucking brilliant. Like, just really moving. And like, just so powerful in their kind of detailed kind of breakdown of like these two people who loved each other even though there were toxic elements to their relationship, and who their relationship completely fell apart and they had this conversation that they couldn't come back from. They can't save their relationship, but on the inside, she's still like, I would still do anything for you and I always will, you know, which is heartbreaking, really heartbreaking. Yeah, not even the memories are immortal, you know, not even the memories of how good it used to be can't even save our relationship at this point, you know? You know, I'd do anything for you. You know, it's true because I've said it to you. Held it in my arms. I swore I'd be good to you, then sat and watched you as you walked away from me. So it really feels like, yeah, she's been, I suppose this is starting to outline like the story of House Nebraska, like this abandonment, like she still dreams of those memories, those perfect memories in the house in Nebraska, even though they've moved on, they've left and they've drifted apart, you know. Yeah, you've changed, but did I ever know you? Or did I hold you facing away from me? That's amazing. The air in your room never moves. Live and die by TV, no one's watching. Do you hate me? When this is over, maybe then we'll get some sleep. I've been picking names for our children. You've been wondering how you're going to feed them. Love is not enough in this world. But I still believe in Nebraska dreaming because I'd rather die than be anything than your girl. Oh, that's really... That just... I didn't even notice that lyric, but the House of Nebraska piano was there. The House of Nebraska piano was right there. and she directly links it into the Nebraska dreaming, being like her dreaming of what their relationship could have been, this like little family. You know, they might have been struggling, they might not have been able to feed the kids, you know, but they still had each other, you know. But it didn't happen. It was just the dreams, you know, it's just false dreams. Oh, God, it's so beautiful. I'd rather die than be anything but your girl. God. Well, there's more lyrics. I never meant to hurt you, but somehow I knew I would. Will it be like this forever? See, there's more premonition, you know? Will it be like this forever? I'd reach into your body and fix you if I could. Will I feel like this forever? Are you angry? Do you hate me? Darling, time may forgive me, but I won't. Time. You know, I'd do anything for you. You know it's true because I said it to you, held it in my arms. I swore I'd be good to you. Then I sat and watched as you walked away from me. So I bled till I cried, till I felt I might die. To be known the way you should is to put yourself through hell. Still I waited and tried till it killed me. Because you're right. I can wait if I want. It will never be good enough like I want to believe it is. So she really, really understands that at this point, like it's never really going to be the dream that she'd have for their relationship. It's never going to be that, you know? And so there's a certain let going of the dream. But like the song itself almost feels like it's still living within this nostalgia. The whole album feels like it's sitting within the nostalgia of this beautiful memories in this place in Nebraska where they first fell in love, you know. I think it's really powerful, this moving through time, the way that she's played with time throughout this whole album actually has been really powerful. This like idea that there's this almost kind of sense of premonition, this idea that they know that things aren't going to work out, this idea that they know they're going to die. They're obsessed with death. It's kind of always lingering in the back of their head. And yet she's still, despite all of that, still fantasizing about what their life would be together. She still has those pictures on the wall. She's still picking out the names for what their children are going to be. You know, it's like really just heartbreaking because they're fated to never be together and they're fated to have disastrous experiences, you know. There's something so powerful about the way that she still remains so in love and the nostalgia is so strong and the power of those emotions are so strong despite all of this doom, you know. It's really amazing. And like, yeah, I think that's something that I really love, a detail that I just adore about this album is this playing with time, because obviously we're set up to understand that this is a prequel. So we're already playing with time. And the fact that we know how it kind of ends, right? We're almost in the future. But when you actually get into the details of the lyrics, it's like, you don't know whether this has happened now. Maybe he did hang himself, but maybe it was far later in the future. And that was just a sense of the timelessness, like, you know, a sense of premonition. Yeah. And I think it's really clever how she's made those lines super hazy and made you kind of really question what is happening and when it's happening, you know. And it seems to be that actually it's kind of all happening all at the same time. And the way that the songs kind of generate this sense of timelessness because of like the way that they are so ambient, you know, it allows your mind to just completely drift off of the face of the planet, you know. You lose track of time listening. And I think that's really, really clever how she's done that. I guess this brings me around to, I suppose, what my kind of overall thoughts, which is like, this is a difficult album to review, I think, overall for me. I'm kind of torn in a way. But like, in terms of like the amazing stuff, right? The detailed storytelling is just multi-layered, multifaceted. And for me, like, in terms of the storytelling, this album, I feel, is more successful, more expansive than Preacher's Daughter. Because like, I mean, I listened to the whole of Preacher's Daughter and completely made up my entire thing, which kind of like, I mean, it was beautiful and I loved experiencing it that way. But I feel like in terms of telling me a story, I don't think it was necessarily as effective. It was almost like you had to have a book telling you what the story was as you were listening to you had to have a guide, you know, in order to understand the story. Whereas here, it feels like much more like you still got all the depth. You still got like all of the not obvious roundabout storytelling all the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, all of that stuff. And yet I still felt like the story was more tangible. And I think that's a real powerful thing, to be able to kind of create a real sense of atmosphere and to kind of create this huge kind of world building thing, and yet still have a central kind of theme, which is really love, you know, love and losing love. And then on top of it, the storytelling elements that bring in all the kind of prequel aspects, like I was saying, with the kind of referencing the future, but with sat in the past, like the way that your emotions change because you link to different sounds in the songs and all that kind of stuff. And the pure atmosphere of it really just being a world in itself, like the way that it takes you to that small town is just unlike anything else I've ever heard. It's so palpable. It's really, really incredibly put together. But I just think that like as an album, I feel like it's gone too far out of structure, you know? I think that's the difficulty I'm kind of faced with when trying to kind of like review it, I guess. And like how I think about it for me as a listener is that like, you know, it's an hour and 15 minutes. 3 or 4 of the songs had no lyrics at all. Most of the songs were extremely long, including a 10-minute song and a 15-minute song at the end. And like the songs that did have lyrics, although like incredible in the storytelling and narrative department, are so loosely structured that they kind of don't kind of break through the heaviness, you know? Like if I think about Preacher's Daughter, and I think about the way that like so many of the songs still had all the atmosphere, but managed to kind of break through that atmosphere with like variety. You know, I think of the song like Thoroughfare, really long, really undulating song, really, but like the vibe of it just almost kind of took it somewhere else. And the strength in the kind of melody writing and the way that it had more of a verse chorus structure just gave me something a bit more tangible to hold on to, compared to other songs on the album that were less tangible and more open and ambient. And I think that's the thing, is that if some of the longer bits were just condensed a bit and it had a couple more songs that just felt like a bit more structured, then I feel like I'd be having a very different kind of overall kind of opinion in that sense, you know? I feel like that's kind of all it needed for me to be like perfect, because the actual depth in it, the actual like sound design, the actual storytelling, the lyrics themselves, some of these gorgeous vocal moments as well. I didn't even like reiterate the stuff about the fragility in her voice and the way that she sells these stories is just so amazing. It just feels like it's missing that extra, that 1 or 2 songs just to kind of pull it together, you know? Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. Obviously, this is the first listen, so things change. And this is clearly not an album made to be reviewed on one listen, let's be honest. But like, yeah, that's where I'm at right now with it. And it makes me feel a bit torn because like there are moments of it that are absolutely incredible. Like really is incredible, actually, when you see what she's managing to achieve with certain aspects, you know, these aspects being world building and storytelling. It's phenomenal. It just feels as if like the songwriting, she's just lost too much structure for me. And it almost therefore kind of feels a little bit like not that it doesn't respect your time. I think that's probably a bit too strong of a way to put it, but maybe like quite self-indulgent if that makes sense. Which, I mean, you want your like pop stars to be self-indulgent, you know, but I also kind of want to, I don't know, to find more balance as an album project. And I feel like if you go completely self-indulgent, as it were, into the full, long, kind of open, ambient sounds, then I feel like you kind of get a little bit lost. I feel like she's maybe got a little bit lost along the way and needed just, like maybe even just one song that had a bit more focus and a bit more kind of something to it that really just pulled everything together. But that doesn't take away from how incredible what she has done is, you know. It's just that it just goes maybe a little bit too far off the deep end. Yeah, because it's interesting because I kind of thought with Perverts, it was like, oh, this is the ambient thing. Cool. Now we're going to go back to something that's closer to Preacher's Daughter. But this one actually was a lot closer to Perverts than I thought it was going to be. And I'm, you know, a bit torn about that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, let me know what you think. Obviously, I want to hear what all of you have to say about this. And I also want to know the lore. So please tell me all the lore. And if I've got any of it right, who knows? But you know, it's all about interpretation. But yeah, I think I'm going to say my favourite song is Nettles. I think that kind of tells you the vibe for me is that like it needed another song like Nettles that kind of pulls it together a little bit more. Even something that was a bit more structured than Nettles actually really would have pulled it further. But yeah, I think Nettles was like the kind of beacon in this album of just like it all coming together perfectly, you know? Yeah, and that still remains like, for me, the most like achingly emotional moment in the album too. But yeah, let me know what your top 5 are in the comment section. Yeah, and if you haven't checked out my Preacher's Daughter reaction, it's here. If you want to check out my Perverts reaction, it's here. And if you want to check out the Patreon, it's here. Cool. Thanks, guys.